What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today concluded day 6 of Green Bay Packers training camp. Today was the first day with full pads. We saw half pads yesterday, which is just shoulder pads and helmet. Today was full pads, so helmet, shoulder pads, and leg pads as well. So in this video, we're going to recap everything that happened in today's practice. And as always, I released a highlight video going over the highlights from today's practice. So if you want to go watch that, simply click the link right above. And if you are a new viewer, I'd highly suggest going down and clicking that subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers during this training camp preseason going into the regular season. I will also be streaming this Saturday during Packers family night, so definitely come on by the stream and say hello. All right, let's waste no more time and get started in this practice recap. So we'll start with Matt LaFleur's pre-practice press conference, and he said he had no concern on David Bakhtiari dropping out Saturday and not practicing Monday. All part of the plan. Quote, he's got to get enough reps that he doesn't have to be out there every day. We need to protect him. Also added, we want him at his best. Matt LaFleur also said they feel they have a good young player on their hands in 7th round pick Carrington Valentine. Quote, I love how he competes. He's going to go out there and challenge it. You can coach him hard and he's receptive to the coaching. We saw Carrington Valentine had a really nice practice yesterday and he had some really nice reps today in 1v1s and also team portions as well. Moving on to injury updates / roster news. New injury was Jake Hansen is not practicing today. He has an elbow injury. Tay Wicks, Grant DeBose, Rashawn Gary, and Eric Stokes are still all out of practice. And with the Jake Hansen injury, the Packers re-signed Cole Schneider. He was with the team last training camp, suffered an ankle injury, and they ended up waiving him. So he's back with the team. And the Packers also released 2 players, releasing guard Chuck Falagia and tight end Cameron McDonald. So since they had another spot, they also signed yet another player, wide receiver / tight end Andre Miller. He was a 2022 undrafted free agent out of Maine. He was cut from the Giants last week. He's 6'3", 234 pounds. Moving on to the offense, we'll start with the starters during team portions. It was Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Luke Musgrave, and things changed up on the offensive line a little bit today. So David Bakhtiari was back at practice, so he was at left tackle. Elton Jenkins at left guard. Zach Tom got the start at center with the 1. So we've seen him swapping out with Josh Nijman at right tackle. Today, he was the first center up in team portions. Now, Josh Myers came right back out in the second drive, and then Zach Tom came in later, so they were moving a lot of linemen around today. Even John Runyon got snaps with the center, but John Runyon started at right guard, and Josh Nijman started at right tackle. So they're doing a lot of rotating, and I said this weeks ago that Zach Tom very well could compete for that starting center job if they really want to keep Josh Nijman at right tackle. Regardless, I think Zach Tom needs to be on this offensive line. If that's center, then so be it. He needs to be on this offensive line. He is 100% one of the best 5 offensive linemen on this team. So if that's at center, regardless, just get Zach Tom out there. I think he would do a better job than Josh Myers, honestly. But if you really trust him at right tackle and you want him over Josh Nijman, then you can keep Josh Myers at center. I think he would hold up pretty well. Moving on to the 1v1 notes for the offense, Christian Watson beat Douglas on a slant. Musgrave beat Anthony Johnson Jr. deep and then beat him again on another rep. And the main highlight was Romeo Doubs beating Jair Alexander deep. I actually have a clip of this, so I'll bring that up on the screen. Really nice outside release on this 9 route, getting a step on Jair Alexander. Nice hand fighting, and goes up to get that ball over Jair Alexander for a touchdown there. Very impressive rep by Romeo Doubs to see him do this against Jair Alexander. Clearly the best cornerback on the team, one of the best in the league. It's forged by fire. So it's really nice to see these reps for these young wide receivers going against Jair Alexander. They will only get better in these situations. So awesome to see this amazing catch by Romeo Doubs. He actually also beat Jair a second time on a quick slant as well. Bo Melton beat Ennis Gaines in 1v1. He's been great in practice the last 2 days since the pads came on. He's been beating a lot of people in the 1v1s, and he also had a really nice play in team portions, which we'll talk about here after this today in practice. Right now, I feel like he's my wide receiver 6. He's proving that he is that wide receiver 6 in terms of what he can do in offense, and he has opportunity on special teams as well as a returner. Tucker Kraft had a contested catch on safety John Owens. Samori Toure smoked Keyshawn Nixon on a deep route for a nice catch. He's been doing really well in this camp as well. He's my wide receiver 4. Cody Kress had an amazing one-handed catch on Corey Ballantyne. He's actually been very impressive since the Packers signed him. Definitely a guy that could fight for one of those practice squad wide receiver spots, and I guess could fight for the 6th spot, but as of right now, it's Bo Melton for me. And then also Jaden Reed had a touchdown in 1v1s. As for a note on the offensive lineman, Sean Ryan had a really nice day in 1v1s, winning all 5 reps against Colby Wooden, so really good to hear his name. Had a really down year last year. Matt LaFleur said he looks a lot more in shape this year, and he's been working mainly with the second team at left guard. Now Now going over the recap for the team portions on offense, a really good day for running back Lou Nichols in practice today. Kind of had a rough day yesterday. He's been struggling with drops, but he had a really nice day running the football today. Had an awesome stiff arm on Keandre Thomas during team portions. And the Packers are continuing to do end arounds with Jaden Reed. They really like him in that role. They did it again where they got another first down. So clear they want to use Jaden Reed in that role and use him in a multitude of different ways, which I've been saying for months now at this point. The Packers also ran some I formation with true fullback Henry Pearson. I am hoping the fullback position comes back to the NFL. I was such a big John Kuhn fan, if you can't tell the fat head over my shoulder right there. I was big on John Kuhn. I think the fullback deserves to be a position in the NFL, and every team honestly should have one. I like what you can do with that type of position. And I know DeGuara kind of plays that role at H-back with the tight end, but it's a little bit different when you have a true fullback as a lead blocker. A.J. Dillon had a nice run rep where he actually ran over Quay Walker. Finally, full contact is here, which is nice to see. Not much going for the ones today on offense. The offense as a whole struggled, but primarily the first team offense. Love had a below average to average day. He did a nice job in today's practice finding checkdowns, but didn't really have any wow throws in team portions like we saw yesterday with Christian Watson on the deep ball, the day before with Samori Toure on the deep ball. But these are the ups and downs. This is going to happen. This is the first year of starter Jordan Love. Obviously we can get hype on the plays we see in days past, but we can also, see down days just like this, and that's going to be how it is for pretty much the entirety of offseason and also going into the regular season. We're along for the ride, and Jordan Love's shown a lot of potential, but obviously there's going to be mistakes and things that go wrong, but that's all part of the process. Now, some drops are hurting Jordan Love again. Like yesterday, there was a few drops, and today there was a drop by Jaden Reed in the end zone. It was a contested catch situation on Rudy Ford, so it was good coverage, but it was definitely a catchable ball. So Jaden Reed dropped an end zone ball from Jordan Love. He did find Luke Musgrave on a really nice touchdown over Quay Walker in the back of the end zone. A nice throw and catch. Nice to see them building chemistry. Jordan Love has been looking Luke Musgrave's way a lot so far in team portions, which is awesome to see, because if he can rise up to that starting tight end role, a safety blanket, vertical threat tight end that can really create mismatches for this offense, that's going to add a whole nother dynamic to this offense early on in this season. Jordan Love also overthrew Jaden Reed to end the 2-minute drill. He was wide open deep on a crosser route, beat Darnell Savage, and probably would have been a touchdown to end 2-minute drill and would have been the offense's first win, first team offense's first win in the 2-minute drill of training camp so far, but Jordan Love overthrew him. So kind of had some overthrowing issues so far in training camp, and sometimes he underthrows, but like I said, it's all part of the process. Overall, Jordan Love finished today 6 of 14. Other news on offense, Tyler Goodson actually limped off during practice, but he did come back in. Definitely something to monitor. He's been doing really well in training camp so far and is my running back 3, so he can't afford any injury at this point, or else, we don't know if he'll end up, making the roster for that running back 3 spot. As I said earlier, Bo Melton had a really nice day during team portions. He beat Valentine deep, and a beautiful throw by Danny Etling on a touchdown there. Like I said, he's my wide receiver 6. He's been very impressive since the pads come on. Super fast wide receiver, really nice route runner, quick feet and whatnot. So he's been doing well in 1v1s and team portions, and that's why I have him as my wide receiver 6 currently. It also appeared David Bakhtiari and Josiah DeGuara dropped out of practice at some point. We saw that happen with Bakhtiari Saturday, and it wasn't a problem. I'm not sure on DeGuara. It is the first day of full pads, so players could cramp up or something of that sort. So surely something we're going to monitor. Like I said, a tough day for the offense as a whole. They ended this practice yet again doing push-ups. Moving on to the defense, first starting with the starters. Nothing has changed other than the fact that Lucas Van Ness is starting with the ones today opposite Preston Smith. So we've seen him kind of rotate in there sometimes after a little bit of practice, but today he fully started with the ones opposite Preston. He's had a wonderful training camp. I think that's been one of the most underrated things. Like, we've been watching a lot of Jordan Love in the offense. Lucas Van Ness has been having a terrific training camp, and it's really nice to see because we know the potential this guy has. So it's nice to see him today get some reps with the ones when the full pads come on. As for 1v1 recap for the defense, Keyshawn Nixon had an interception on Jordan Love in 1v1s, covering Samori Toure. Valentine locked up Jaden Reed on a rep. He just continues to shine during training camp. Devontae Wyatt, probably the most impressive reps on defense. He had 2 really great pass rushing reps, one of which he pushed Josh Myers on the ground, and the next one he pushed Gene DeLance on the ground. So Devontae Wyatt just showing his pure power at the defensive lineman spot. Going to be very important for Wyatt to step up this year, starting opposite Kenny Clark and next to TJ Slayton on that defensive line. And then finally in 1v1s, Lucas Van Ness had a good rep against Josh Nijman. He got stopped on the first one, really nice rep by Josh, but on the second one, he had a nice bull rush against Nijman. As for the recap for the defense was flying around today. Definitely a win for the defense in today's practice. They stopped 2 design quarterback read options for Jordan Love. I went over a clip a couple days ago saying the Packers likely are going to have a lot of designed runs for Jordan Love, or at least a few of them. They tried them today. The defense was all over it. They also tried it with Alex Magoo. The defense was all over it. All 3 of read option plays on offense during team portions ended in a loss today. John Owens had a diving interception on a tipped ball thrown by Sean Clifford. Darnell Savage had a nice run stop on Aaron Jones. TJ Slayton continues to create push on that defensive line, tipped a Jordan Love throw at the line of scrimmage. And finally, Brenton Cox Jr. had a couple nice pressures today as well, so nice to hear his name. Then I have one thing on special teams to go over kicking. Anders Carlson, not Daniel Carson. I know I keep saying that. Anders Carlson was kicking again today. Kind of below average to average day, went 5 for 8 overall. We saw him have a bad day on Saturday, not a great day today. He missed his final kick to end 2-minute drill and had 2 other misses, so still having some consistency issues. But that does it for all the recap I have for Green Bay Packers day 6 of training camp, the first day in full pads. Excited to see this training camp continue with the full pads on and see more contact, more hitting, and these 1v1s. I'm so happy that, you know, we're to the point in practice where we're seeing all these 1v1s, these true competitions in the trenches for wide receivers versus defensive backs, and we can start to see this roster really shape out to those 53 top players. But that about does it for this one. I appreciate everyone watching. If you could leave a like down below, it supports my channel a ton. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.